Hi, this is Tashina,
And this is Jonathan.
and this is Abandoned Ship, a podcast where we take you through Deep Space Nine.
And today we have Season 2, Episode 7, Rules of Acquisition.
Ferengi time.
Ferengi episode. So we had good luck with Ferengi episodes so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the Negus was the diamond in the rough of Season 1,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Because the Ferengi are silly, but also they do a lot of deep dive into their culture and
And the hyper capitalistic, misogynistic culture.
by taking something to an extreme, it allows you to really do some interesting things. A lot of the Ferengi actors are really good.
Yes.
Obviously, Wallace Shawn as Zek, great.
Mhm.
So there's always some rich stuff there. So I had forgotten exactly how this episode went down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was excited. I'm like, oh, a Ferengi episode. This will be great. I don't know what your thoughts are, but it did not end up reaching the highs of
No,
the Negus.
I feel like, and we'll get there with the ending. I feel like the ending just kind of went, like, I felt like it was actually pretty decent.
See, I thought it was pretty rough.
Oh, really?
Just from an execution standpoint,
Okay.
it was just not up to par.
No, it wasn't as good as
And
some of our other Ferengi
the whole
shenanigans.
"oh, she's a woman" was so
Woman?
obvious.
I
It
know.
was so obvious from the start. But the problem is, she was really hard to understand because she's trying to disguise her voice so much, and it was just
Yeah, they couldn't find a lady with a deep voice.
all right. It was just
Hello, Cook.
unpleasant to listen to, hard to hear.
It was hard to hear. I guess
A lot.
I didn't have as much issues with her voice as you did. Maybe that's why I wasn't.
I mean,
as
that's not
rough
like
to
that's not like
me.
the whole thing.
I know, but
That's just an example of like a lot of the stuff in this episode it feels more like, oh yeah, this is an early season episode. It feels
it
that way.
has
You know
a
what I
little
mean?
bit more early.
Whereas we
season
talk about
kind
like
of fingerprints.
duet.
Yeah.
Duet could have happened anywhere on the show.
Yes.
It was so good.
No, this definitely was an
Yeah.
early episode.
And Negus, execution wise and acting wise, was really natural and really delivered well and felt like
Yes.
it also transcended its place. This one is squarely a season 1, season 2 episode. The acting was, even from the veteran actors, was okay, but I'm gonna blame like directors for that, I guess. It just, the whole thing felt rough,
Yeah.
and
I guess I was more, it's fine until the end, where you feel like the ending really just,
yeah.
it's that.
And then buried deep within this whole thing is part of their Dominion plotline.
I know. They said
Making this suddenly a
Dominion, and I'm like,
required
wait,
episode.
what? Exactly, because I'm like, oh, wait, what? Of
Because
course-
Karma come in later too, and this is the first time you ever hear them. Otherwise, they come out of nowhere.
Of course, the Ferengi would be the first to know about the Dominion.
Which, as a choice, I like that.
Yes.
Making the Ferengi more than just a joke, right? Like, it is because of them that we start getting these inroads into
Because they're
to
wheeling
the
and
Karma.
dealing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so it makes the universe feel more alive when it's not just Starfleet doing everything. So as a choice, I
Exactly.
like that.
That was probably one of the highlights. Well, speaking of sad, we start with our cold opening with Morn passed out on a random bench in the promenade.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure we never see that. I'll have to look for it
We'll
now.
have to look
but
for
I'm
it
pretty
now.
sure they wheeled that in just for this bit.
And he then goes to Odo has to wake him up, and then he goes to pretty much bang on the door of Quark's. Let me in.
Well, he tells them no sleeping on the promenade, go home. So Morn goes to Quark's,
And I'm
which I
like-
guess is his home.
I'm like, oh, this kind of, I don't know,
It
feels
tells us
a
something,
little sad slice of Morn's life.
But yeah, he can't get in because the
They're having game night.
Yeah, they're having game night, playing Tongo with Dax.
Yeah, so that was cute where it's like you see all the Ferengi and they're panning over. You get Quark and then Dax. And I'm like, of course Dax would be at game night with the Ferengi. I thought that was cool. And she destroys them. But, the Ferengi are not happy with a female destroying them. Well,
Specifically Rom. Boy,
yeah.
does he get the biggest character reset of all these people over the course of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because we saw that a little bit, obviously in early season 1 when he, with the school and him sitting Nog there and stuff. But I've forgotten that this continues longer than I thought. But yeah, talk about a complete 180.
Yeah. To the point where he feels better. That was maybe it was one of her male
Past lives.
past
That's who beat
lives
me. It was
that beat me,
Curzon.
not Dax. Dax is like, he was shit at Tongo. It's me. It's me. I'm the one beating you. So, they go, this is throughout the back and forth of uh, women in Ferengi society, what they expect of them, and they're like trad wives to the extreme. They have no rights, they're slaves, they don't even have the dignity of clothing. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And then all of a sudden we get this random waiter who butts in.
I'll start talking like this. We're sure
Ram is like, shut up the whole time, but
that's right, it's music work.
the waiter,
Because I'm not trying to compromise my voice or anything.
the waiter is really pushing to have Quark try this new item that they have, some kind of sand pea. And so pretty much as soon as you eat it, you get automatically thirsty. And it doesn't really even register that this is what's causing you to get thirsty. And so, of course, a bar, you want something to drive the thirst up. And holy crap, Morn would probably be 3 sheets to the wind by the end of the night with this. So now this waiter of his is starting to get on Quark's good side.
Mm-hmm. Rom doesn't like.
Of course not. And then beep, 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 beep. Greg Nagus calling in.
Apparently has a direct line to Quark's bar.
I guess that makes sense. He is the Grand Nagus, but it's funny.
I like to think now that every single Ferengi has a Grand Nagus emergency line. Most of them it never rings, but it has to be there just in case.
And we're back to the expansion into the Gamma Quadrant, which they've touched upon this in past episodes where this is the plan. They're like, this is the new frontier, because they don't know about Ferengi. So they don't know how we wheeling and dealing. So this new fertile land that we can go to and get all the sweet, sweet profits. And he is putting Quark as like pretty much the front man into these negotiations with the Gamma Quadrant peeps. Who we figure out after the credits is the Dozai is the first group that they're gonna negotiate with. So yeah. Yay, Quark is happy. Woo, woo, woo. Credits. Now we go to Cisco's office where, the Nagus is here with his butler. And he's talking to Cisco and Kira. Cisco and Kira are weary because they know the Ferengi. And since this is pretty much first contact with the Dozai, and they're just concerned with these negotiations. They're gonna try to cheat them, and then things are gonna go downhill. Kira especially is like, I know how you Ferengi are. She's real hot.
Here's the thing. Why do they need their permission for this?
Yeah.
Can't they conduct their own negotiations? He talks about, when you do business on this station, but like, anyone could just meet people on the station for whatever reason they want, right? Also, do they have to meet them on the station? Can they just meet them on their ship or something?
Yeah, I wasn't
Why do they need
sure why we
their like
had this.
approval to like do business?
Other than it just gives us a little information about the negotiations, I guess. And we start the thing with Kira.
Yeah, which goes somewhere.
Here's my air quotes, subplot.
Has all of like 3 scenes. It's basically just like, those Ferengi.
So
Always touching you inappropriately. Those pranksters.
those pranksters putting their hands on my thighs and my booty. Very 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kira, not trusting them, doesn't want to pretty much allow these negotiations, is buttered up by the Nagus with a shipment of something the Bajorans could use to grow crops. Pretty much he has a whole shipment of something that would help the Bajorans. He's like,
Fertilizer.
and
yeah.
I will give them to you, air quotes. And they're like, okay. And as he's walking out, for a fair price. And pretty much Cisco,
To Ferengi, that is giving them.
I mean, it is, yes,
That's
that
a
is a
steal.
gift. That is a steal. But Cisco pretty much badgers him into making it an actual gift, not just a good price. And that's that scene. That's a
Yep.
scene. Why we needed that scene?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever. This whole thing goes
Yeah.
nowhere.
Goes nowhere. All right, so Nagus quarters. Quark is in there starting to massage Nagus's feet.
I think he's just trying to get his shoes off.
Or it just
It's kind of
looked like,
awkward.
I know, he was trying to get his shoes off. It just looked like he, when you try to massage someone's foot, I don't know what he was doing.
He's just, yeah, it was, this is again what I'm talking about, like the sort of general awkwardness that pervades the episode.
So the Nagus gives him the overall plan of they want tons and tons of berries
Tula berries.
to make wine. And I guess the Dozai have a bunch of berries. So that's the negotiation. They're going to get these berries. And then they want to pretty much have all the berries. So they have a corner of that market. And this is how they're going to get their foot into the Gamma Quadrant. Cool.
Yeah, so that's the face of it. 10,000 vets from the Dosai.
At Quark's, our waiter, who we eventually find out their name is Pell, comes up to Quark. It's like, hey, gotta warn you, if this goes south, guess who's gonna be the scapegoat?
Dun dun dun.
Quark decides at that point that he needs help with the negotiations to make sure they don't go south. And since Pell has, I guess, given him sand peas, Pell will now be the assistant to these negotiations.
And Pell also quotes a lot of rules of acquisition, so he looks very
Pell
savvy.
knows the book. And then we go to Pell's quarters and dun dun dun. She's a woman with her fake ears.
Yeah, they took out the ears, but I guess they realized maybe people won't realize that female Ferengi have small ears. They got up.
Which is funny because they did mention it in the beginning of the episode.
They do?
Yeah, I thought during
Oh,
their.
did they sneak it in there with some of the comments about?
Yeah, the comments with the. That's what I was saying. There was a lot of back and forth. I'm pretty sure they mentioned something about the earlobes, or maybe it was just that them being naked. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was it. That would have been smart, though.
Oh, maybe I, in my own mind, was editing the script. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so Quark and Pell are now teaming up. We reveal that Pell is a woman in disguise. Oh, such a shock. Definitely didn't see that coming.
Nope, didn't see it coming at all.
Um.
We go to docking, which we have the whole gang there.
Yeah, this is where they're meeting the Dozai.
Yep. Isn't there? This is also where the Nagus pinches Kira's ass.
Yep.
Great times. So the Dozai come.
Those pranksters.
Dozai coming on.
It's good old boys.
Not friendly.
Yeah, so the Dozai get introduced by one of them throwing another through the airlock into the wall. And so you realize that it's, oh no, Quark's in for more than he bargained for.
He's gonna get jettisoned at some point.
Yeah.
Yeeted across the promenade.
Yeah, so it's like dun dun dun. How's he gonna negotiate with these people?
And it's
So,
difficult.
Yeah,
because
so now we got Quark and Pell and the two Dosai.
very hostile.
One of them is Inglatu, who this actor is
I
in Disney
recognize.
a lot.
Yeah, I recognize his face right
Yeah,
away.
he has a very distinctive face. He plays a Jemadar. He plays
Melissa
all
just
sorts of
has a
different
long
people.
list
Yeah,
of
'cause
cameos.
of the physicality and the voice.
Yes, I can see that.
So yeah, and they're like all like red and very like
Yes.
the concept of this race is interesting because it's like they're traders. They're like the Gamma Quadrant Ferengi. They're very serious about profits, but it's like highly aggressive. It's like
Very
Klingon
blunt. Yes.
Klingon Ferengi.
Exactly.
You know, they're
Klingon
very
Ferengi.
blunt, direct. It's all about aggression, but in negotiations, not in combat. They're just very angry about making money.
And they're angry that they're talking to Quark and not the Nagus.
Yeah.
Like, why are we talking to you? Are we not good enough to talk to the Nagus? Get the F out of here.
Yep. And they're like, we'll give you 5,000 vats. It's like, no, we need 10.
We'll think about it.
So yeah. But Pal sort of stands up to them, which they respect.
Yes.
That gets them to admit, that they'll consider the 10,000. So at this point, they are considering
Yes.
10,000 vats. So it's proceeding, but not clinched yet.
Mm-hmm. At Dobbs, where the Nagus's butler
Yep.
just
Mehardu.
pops in silently, goes up to Kira, gives her a box, the piece of jewelry, and then paces on out. And Kira's like, I can't accept this. It's like gold pressed platinum jewelry. It's like super expensive. And then
Birkin bag of earrings.
Exactly. Kira and Daxon start talking about Ferengi because Kira hates Ferengi. And Dax is like, once you get past the misogyny and, their capitalistic ways, they're not bad guys.
Dax, at least, this is always tough because Kira obviously hates Ferengi and hates Quark, but is also usually very mean and hostile about it in an almost racist way, right?
Yeah.
But also she has a point that
Yep.
they have some really bad cultural tendencies.
I mean, if I was just pinched on the butt.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like, oh, she's just racist or speciesist or called whatever.
Yeah.
It can't just be that because they are, as people, they have a certain attitude towards women that I think anyone would agree subjectively
It's bad.
bad, as much as you get in some weird gray areas here with culture and what's appropriate and how that intersects with personal rights and stuff like. So that probably gets way deeper than we want to get into. Like how much is that's
Yes.
just their culture and we can't judge them, but also.
And I guess that's why the ending is just so flat and
Because it ignores it all.
Because
all
it
of
ignores nothing
is resolved.
is resolved.
Or confronted.
Yes.
Challenged.
Like
maybe a little bit, but they sidestep it too fast.
Like they could have brought up that, they get handsy and flirty with the ladies of other species, but they do seem to at least talk to them and interact with them as equals. But why not their own women?
True, yeah.
Like, that's something they could have brought, especially with Dax being there. And that's what it felt like they could have led to. But then Dax felt like she was just there getting the tea from Pell instead of really kind of confronting. Like, she could have been a great person to actually confront Quark. And we almost were there at the end. It's like, you're sad too. And then she left. I'm like, no. This could have actually been a step forward for Quark. Because I get that they're not going to redo the whole society of one episode. But they could have at least pushed Quark forward to be like, hey, this is wrong, how we treat women in our society. We could have at least gotten him primed for that, or closer to there. I don't know, it just felt like he didn't even, he fell in love with her, but he wouldn't run away with her. Like, he's still stuck in his own culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like we were nowhere near him actually, breaking free of that mentality, which like I said, there's no way you're going to change a whole Ferengi culture overnight. Like, I can understand the Nagus being still stuck in his ways, but I feel like it would have been satisfying if we'd gotten somewhere with Quark. And with Dax being there, that would have been great. And then Kira's there. Like, I feel like we had two strong women that could have also helped instead of this.
Yeah, ideally
nonsense.
You'd have some sort of meet in the middle thing where the Ferengi are challenged about their viewpoint, Kira is challenged about hers. they don't have to move the needle that far, especially
Yeah.
in one episode, but some are being challenged.
Yeah,
Instead, it's more like,
Yeah, I'm not expecting Quark to go on be like, liberate the women.
instead, what we end up with is Quark and Zek just sort of grumble and go on their way and ignore it. And Kira
Quark's a little sad.
seems to have to accept the fact that she's just going to get touched inappropriately when Ferengi around and has to deal with it, which seems like a weird take.
That is also weird.
You just gotta,
You just
don't
felt
get so
like...
hysterical, Kira.
Yeah.
Uh, maybe boundaries are important, guys.
Yes, like how do you set up boundaries with
Why do we have to
people?
respect their culture, but they not respect our boundaries?
Exactly. And so that could have been something like how do you set up boundaries between two different societies that are so
Right.
different?
Right.
Like, what does that look like? They had setups here. They just chose not to do
Yeah.
anything.
All right.
All right. Where were we? The negotiations. Oh, she got the jewelry. Kira does not understand Dax at all. So we're back at Quark's, and they have another round of game night with Zach there. Zek, sorry. Not Zach. Zek. And now he wants 100,000.
Yes, they were barely maybe getting the 10,000, and now for some reason he's upping it to 100,000. So this is like, that's interesting.
Quark's about to have a heart attack. Pell comes in and starts talking up both the Nagus and Quark. And it's kind of like, why are you being so nice, especially to Quark? It's like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Quark is too much in anxiety mode to even question this. He's just like, someone's just being nice to me. Awesome. I'm gonna die soon. And then we go to the Replomat. Oh, because Dax was there, so she also witnesses Pell being really nice to Quark.
And it's interesting because it feels, Dax is having because she understands Ferengi. She's very insightful and wise. So like she's having a moment where
She's
she
different.
clocks something.
Yeah, she's clocking. This
Which
person,
pays off in a weird way in this conversation. Because, so Pell's at the Replomat eating some food.
yum yum yum.
Dax is like, I didn't know they had Ferengi food here. And Pell reveals that it's not Ferengi food. She likes trying new things, which Dax says is unusual. Pell's like, well, so is a Trill who can play tango. And Dax is sort of confronting her about her behavior and basically gets Pell to admit that she loves Quark. And Dax is like, yeah, don't deny I've seen the way you look at him. And then Pell reveals that he doesn't even know I'm a woman. And Dax seems genuinely shocked. You're a woman? I'm like, I didn't think that was where this was going. I thought the whole point was that Dax had pegged this. That's
No,
why
apparently
she was
just
here talking
pegged
to her.
that Pell was in love with Quark. So she was like, oh, same-sex relationship. I'm on board for that.
I guess so, yeah. It just seemed weird that she is so shocked. It just seemed to
Yes.
jar. It didn't seem to meld with like
'Cause,
this. I didn't think that's where the scene was going.
That's the
anything
expectation I had
surprised
as well.
her. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, Ferengi are very hashtag no homo culture. So I can imagine she'd be like, oh.
And also the Dax just shouts it like, you're a woman? Just seemed really out of character.
So, we cannot also go over something Dax brings up in this conversation, which is Quark wooed her by convincing her to come up to a
Oh God.
hollow
Oh my
suite,
God.
and had replicated her whole childhood
Her childhood bedroom.
from what, because I guess she was explaining to Kier about it, so he got some of the details right, but and then he
tried to make a move on her.
on her childhood bed. I'm like, this is not as sweet as you think it is.
I get you trying to be open-minded, Dax, but maybe close that just a little bit.
maybe we're a little too open. Yeah, I know. That's when I would have been like, I'm shutting this down now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Roses are okay. Honestly, I'll take the gold pressed platinum jewelry.
They could have done anything else. Anything else.
Yeah. She could have been telling her about like her favorite walk on her planet and like,
Something.
oh, this is the best
Something not
Inspiration.
specifically tied to her
Childhood.
childhood bedroom. Blech.
Yeah. Oh, it's just
Gross.
gross. Yeah.
Boundaries, Dax. Boundaries.
Couldn't skip over that.
I guess I
Did he block it out?
blocked it out. Trauma there.
So at this point, Dax and Pell, she's confiding in Dax.
And
Okay.
basically, Pell, wants to prove that women are just as smart as men in business. So that's what she came here to do. And what she didn't count on, though, is falling in love with Cork.
Falling in love with Quark. Just a hot, hot man.
Here's the thing, though. At what point did that happen? Because she sort of goes after Quark from the beginning. The very first scene, she's already like pitching him business stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is no moment
No.
that he shows business acumen, which I assume is what she would find attractive, because she is a Ferengi and she's not trying to break free that far from the culture. She is disguise herself to also make money. Like, that is also important to her. It's not like she's, oh yeah, she's still a Ferengi, right?
Yeah.
Profit's still important to her. So you would think that what she finds attractive is someone who is like,
Because I don't really
business.
see it in this episode. All you can say is that maybe, I don't know how long she's been working for him, so maybe she saw stuff off screen, but that's all you can really
Yeah,
say. You
because
don't
Quark doesn't do anything.
because all he does
it's
is really
all-
panic.
Yeah.
And
Everything
so-
he does is fed by Pell from the start.
Yes,
It's not until
You're right.
they're on the planet and he tips over the wine casket that's like the only like big like confident move he makes.
Yes.
But this conversation where she admits she's fallen in love with him happens way before then.
Yeah, you're right.
So it doesn't you don't really
And then
buy
she's
it.
just in love with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again. But no, we gotta spend time on Kira going up to the Nagus, the promenade.
Oh my god, is that where we're at now?
Yep, to return the
yeah.
jewelry. And she's like, yeah, I can't take this. And he's like, oh, no sexy times for me tonight. She's like,
No.
No.
Pinches her again. You just gotta, it's just their culture, Kira. You gotta accept it. No, I don't think you do. I think boundaries are important.
Boundary schmoundies. So she leaves. Quark and Pell come up.
And basically, like, the negotiations collapsed because we asked them about 100,000 vats and they just left.
I'm really sad we didn't get the moment where they told him that and they yeeted Quark
Right.
across the room.
See, that's the other thing, is they, again, with this episode, he comes in and just he's like, it's done. And I'm almost got confused for a second, like, what's done? Wait, did something happen? You didn't even get them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just all happens off screen.
Yep.
Anyway.
So he starts berating Quark, and Pell comes in, and you're right. Again, Pell's the one
Yep.
that's like, "Hey, we could chase them into the Gamma Quadrant and make them
Mhm.
do this deal. We just need your ship." So Quark and Pell hop into the Nagus' ship and head on out to the Gamma Quadrant after the Dozai.
The Nagus' tiny little ship. You'd think the Grand Nagus would have a bigger ship.
It is a tiny ship.
Why does he just have a little shuttle?
So, back and forth on the ship. She tries at this time to tell Quark the truth, but he, of course, thinks it's, oh, you're gonna tell me you want more profits, but no, we're not negotiating this deal.
He's like, oh.
Womp womp.
And they do talk about how the Nagus knows something that he's not telling them because they're really confused why he's pushing so hard for
Yeah, he jumped from
100,000 vats.
exactly 10 to 100. It's a pretty steep jump. So while they're on their way to the Gamma Quadrant, back at Quark's, Rom is overworked and has had it, especially with that Pell. And
Why is he overworked when this is the thing he wants? He wants the bar.
he wants the
And
bar.
this
So this is what
up
he'd
to
be
this point in
doing.
the show, and in this specific episode, what he wants is the bar. Effectively, now he has it, and he just wants Cork to come back.
So would he just like hire a bunch of people to work for him and he would just sit there and rank the profits as his dream?
I guess, but isn't that what he has right now?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Odo shows up. I guess
Some
he has a
reason.
little bit more than last episode. Ducat on line 1, where he talks to Rom, and Rom's just upset about his brother being and Pell taking his brother, sad boy.
He's stealing my brother
He's
from me.
stealing my brother. And then Odo's like, I don't have siblings, but if I had one, I wouldn't let anyone come between us.
Kind of a
Just like an
random take.
odd
It was a
Odo
really
moment.
it was a really odd way of slipping this into
Yeah,
Rom's mind.
which I feel like Rom was already there. Somebody else could have tipped him over. I don't know. It was just a weird way to tip him over.
Yeah.
So he goes to ransack Pell's room,
Yep.
where he finds the fake ears.
Dun dun dun.
The Dozai are telling it. Some Dozai are very serious about their profit, and they're having a rager while also negotiating profits, is what it looks like. And
Yep.
Quark and Pell are just boozing it up, trying to figure out what their next move is.
People are shooting each other and throwing each other around. It's very intense.
Quark tries again to make the deal with the same dude, and I don't know. I kind of blacked out a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know all.
Basically, yeah.
I
Basically,
looked up and he was fucking up shit with the wire.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, what
'cause
happened?
he's trying to get this guy to sign 100,000. He's like, no, go away. And so he flips the table basically to get his attention, because that seems to be what they respect, much like the Klingons. And he sort of starts to bend a little bit, but not really, but ultimately still refuses and says, and Kor's like, I'm not leaving until I get it. And he's just like, fine, then stay. So still hasn't really gotten anywhere, but at least he's made a big show. So hopefully he's caught someone's attention.
Mhm.
So now they just have to go and wait out the night in some sleeping quarters.
Yeah, they give him a guest room.
More like just like a
Hostel?
cubicle. Yeah,
Hostel? Seemed like it was just a curtain
yeah,
on a
basically.
bed.
A couch.
Well, there is only one bed.
Dun dun dun. One bed.
Oh no! What is Pell gonna do? I'm like, do you have to take your top off?
Yeah,
just lie down.
Just lie down.
Just lie down.
Is it that big a deal?
But she starts raking out. We need to go make the negotiations.
Yeah, we can't sleep.
And Quark's like, I'm tired. Just shut up and lay down. And let's do a drink. Let's do a toast. And they drinking, and all of a sudden she goes and kisses
him.
Quark.
At this point, he still thinks he's a guy. This is where I think this, because she keeps talking about she was really impressed how he handled Inglatu, the flipping, which is the first time we see Quark make any kind of decision.
So this
That
probably
isn't fed to
would have
him.
been, the
This would have been
point.
better. Instead of, it should have just been, she's here for business. She has not maybe discussed this thing with Dax yet, or has, but doesn't mention Quark. She's here to prove business.
Business.
She can do business. And then she sees him finally take action for himself and, stand up to Inglatu. And instead of this being a panic moment of, oh no, there's only one bed, she should have just, this is where she is then like realized that she loves him and just like is so attracted to him that she decides this is the time to tell him and makes her move, rather than panicking about revealing herself and then kissing him.
And then she tries to get on top of him.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
But
what?
she was a second ago so panicked about revealing who she was that she didn't want to go to sleep. It was two different things happening.
Yeah. And while she's on top of him, a lady Dozai comes in and is like,
I can see you are busy. I will come back.
okay.
Like, no. We want to do business, not each
Business.
other.
So the reason why they can't make this deal is because they do not have 100,000 vats of these berries.
On
But-
the entire planet.
But she can put them in touch with someone who probably has that much berries, or at least knows who does. And that's the Dominion,
Specifically the Karama.
What's the karma again?
So she says that she can put them in touch with the right people, and the right people are the karma. And they're like, who's the karma? An important power in the Dominion.
Okay.
The
So
Dominion, what's
she's
that? Yeah, so the
with
karma's an
someone
important
in the
reference
Dominion. Okay.
because that's who we reference them a lot later, especially within context of the Ferengi.
Okay.
So this is the first time hearing about the karma. They're a member of the Dominion.
Okay.
So we hear about the karma, we hear about the Dominion. This is, I think, the very first references to both.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I think so. Definitely the Dominion. I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to think if we got a season 1 reference.
Oh, you're looking up that. Quark is
I'm trying to
elated.
remember if like the planet with the battle. Nope, Rules of Acquisition. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, first reference.
So funny. So on the ship, Quark is elated. Pel's like, are we gonna talk about? He's like, nope.
Nope,
Hashtag,
not talking about.
Hashtag no homo, no kiss.
You never kiss me.
Forget about it. Back at Quark's, Quark is telling the Nagus about this Dominion connection, and Nagus is now elated.
Yeah,
Like-
now you can see like this was his game plan all along, was to try and figure out, because he had heard rumors. And so basically he was trying to get an actual connection and like force them up the chain.
Well, sometimes Quark says something, goes, it was my plan? Like, I don't know, there's some parts where Phil, like, much. I'm not sure what he was doing. Anyways, the whole time that Quark is telling Nagus all this, Rom is trying to interrupt and tell him this important news that he has. And of course, Quark's just like, shut up. And then at the end of it, he's like, fine, okay, Rom, what do you need to tell me?
Well, and then Zek gives Quark a percentage of
Oh.
all business in the Gamma Quadrant
Yes.
in exchange for the name Karama.
So Rom pulls Quark aside, and Pel also comes up too.
It was
And
weird that they were both there, isn't it?
yeah,
Shouldn't it have just been Rom and Quark?
I don't know what's happening because we are seeing it further away. Like we cannot hear them talking. It's like almost like a background. We just know what Rom is telling him.
Yeah.
And then Quark looks at her and then faints.
Falls straight back and hits his head.
Yep.
Wakes up in the infirmary.
Where Rom is also there. And Quark doesn't want to tell the Nagas because he knows he'll be in big trouble. And he just got all these sweet profits that he doesn't want to give up. But Rom's like, but if he'll find out and then we'll really be in trouble. He shuts Rom up by saying, I will give you the bar.
Because I have the Gamma Quadrant.
Deal.
So Rom's like,
Pel
Pel,
who?
what about him? Yeah.
In Pel's quarters, Quark shows up and he gets mad right away when he sees that Pel
Is out of her disguise.
out of the disguise and wants her back in her disguise and wants her out of the station and is ready to give her 10 bars of latinum
Start a new life.
to start a new life. Pel at this point is like, we can run away to the Gamma Quadrant, we can start anew, we can be business. But in the end, Quark's like, no. He wants a traditional wife.
Yeah.
Doesn't want her. Like, I would know.
Yeah.
We're at sex quarters where they're
Zek's quarters? It's not like you said sex quarters. I guess Zek's quarters could be sex quarters.
oh, let's hope not. The Nagus' quarters, where he's celebrating with Rom and Quark, but all dumb profits he's gonna get. And then Pel bursts in
Busts in, yeah.
to the room, goes up to the Nagus and takes off the fake ears. After
Well, she gets
First-
Zek to admit, yeah,
Yes.
I have the loads for business, don't I? I did
Yeah.
a good job, didn't I? And get
Like-
Zek to admits it
next, like,
and be
yeah.
like, psych, you just complimented a woman at business.
Cool.
It's a female.
Now, but Zek is in a catch-22 because he's also been using a female for his business dealings, so he can't just get Quark punished and Pel as well without him getting some backlash from this. So to cover it up, he is going to take all of Quark's profits
Yeah.
and which also means no bar for Rom.
It's codified illegal on Ferenginar to take advice from a woman in business or let them do negotiations. So first Zek tries to get Quark with it, then Quark's like, well, you also did it.
Yeah.
So now we're all
Catch-22, baby.
It's all a wash.
And then they leave, and it's just Quark and Pel. And again, she tries to convince him to leave. And, oh, nope, kiss, bye. End of that. Last scene is at Quark's. Dax is sad about Pel leaving. I guess she just said goodbye to her. And she knows that Quark is a sad boy, too. The end. So, this ending was very, very disappointing. Just because it felt like it was just a cheap way to get Quark back to where he was at the beginning. Because we have to have Quark at the bar. We have to have everything.
Right.
Because Pel didn't seem to really have any grand plan other than to get the Negus to say...
Which I guess I can understand. Like, I'm just going to blow it all up. But it didn't
But by blowing
like...
it up, she would know... She would go to jail and get Quark into trouble.
Yeah. It seemed like the consequences of it... It should have been like, I have nothing left to lose. The consequence of it hurting Quark and her... It didn't seem like it had built up to that moment enough.
It felt
for
like
her to be that frustrated to just blow everything up.
Yes.
Even though I think that could have been a good moment.
Yes.
And it's probably what she should have done. But somehow the build up to the episode didn't lead me there to make it make sense. And you're right, it just ultimately ends up being like, we have to reset Quark. He can't be the rich...
The kingpin of
Gamma Quadrant negotiator. Maybe later in the show, they would have let him do that and evolve from the bar. But they're still sort of a little trapped in their serial... not in their non-serial episodic storyline telling. It's here at this point, they're still having to fight tooth and nail for any serial plots in the show. Yep. So they just couldn't.
And like the scene then after the Negus leaves, it's just a rehash of what they already said in her quarters. It felt like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was...
I guess in the broader scheme of the entire show, the plotline kind of pays off as the first pebble rolling down the hill, because Zek does end up in a better place much later, but in this episode it was pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
And just that it didn't feel like anyone was really grappling with much of anything. And yeah.
The only one being grappled with is Kira.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is fine. And then as it went on, I felt like it just got worse and worse.
Yeah.
And really, the only reason to watch this episode is because it's the first mention of the Dominion.
Some of the Ferengi culture stuff is... But I guess most of it is what we've already heard.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything new, but I don't think so.
It might be important for when we get to the stuff with his mother later.
True, maybe.
That didn't already happen, right?
No.
Yeah. So it'll make that hit harder because we know from this episode that it is actually illegal for women to be doing this stuff in Ferengi culture.
Because I understand in later episodes we have more of the Ferengi kind of really parsing out how they treat women.
Sort of.
But this episode needed to do more. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. So, Sally, disappointing episode, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
The Ferengi episodes are usually pretty good. Womp womp.
Tune in next week.
Oh, yes.
Next week, whenever we post it. For
the
episode 8.
Odo episode, right?
Yeah, Necessary Evil.
I remember this episode. Has all the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. This should be interesting.
Yeah, I think this one was pretty good.
God, I hope so.
All right.
All right, we'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.